Good morning, student. In your previous online class, you have learned about the Jainism and Buddhism, and we have completed that chapter in the last online class. So, today we will start with the Mauryan Empire. The foundation of the Mauryan Empire was a unique event in Indian history. As you know about the Mauryan Empire, do you know? You have heard about the Mauryan Empire? Yes, it was a unique event in the Indian history. Its importance lay in the circumstances in which it was achieved. So, its importance lays in that circumstances in which it was achieved, means the condition in which was achieved. It was done against the challenging conditions existing because of the foreign rule in the northwest as a result of Alexander's victories in India. So, how this Mauryan Empire rose up? It was rose up because of the results of Alexander's invasion in India. Because after the Alexander invasion, the Mauryan Empire started ruling. So, first of all, we have to learn about the Alexander's invasion and who was Alexander. So, Alexander, the king of Macedonia, after consolidating his victory in Persia, turned towards India. In 326 BC, he entered northwest India. Okay, in which year he entered northwest India? In 326 BC. The first stage to be reached after crossing the river Indus. Indus was also known as the Sindhu. Okay, after crossing the river Indus was Takshila. So he has crossed the river Indus and he reached Takshila, whose ruler could not muster sufficient strength to resist the invading army. Means whose ruler was not so strong to arrange or to manage his administration in his empire, as well as he was not able to face Alexander. He therefore solicited Alexander's friendship and offered rich presents to him. Okay, so he surrendered himself in front of Alexander and offered rich presents to him. Beyond Jhelum lay another kingdom ruled by Porovar, as he was called as Porus by the Greek historians. Okay, King Porus fought bravely, but he was seriously wounded and taken prisoner. Prouded before Alexander, he said he should be treated like a king who fought for his motherland. So what he said in front of the Alexander when he was stood as a prisoner, he said that he should be treated like a soldier, like a brave person, like a king. Why so? Because he fought for his motherland. Alexander admired his courage and gave him back his kingdom and made him his friend forever. So, who was admired by Alexander? Whose courage was admired by Alexander? King Porus. Now, Alexander planned to march forward and cross the Chenab and the Ravi rivers and advanced up to the Bees. His soldiers had heard that the territory beyond Bees was ruled by the mighty Nanda emperor, who could not be defeated easily. They refused to go any further. So his soldiers, his army refused to go any further because they know that they were not able to defeat the Nanda rulers who were ruling near to the Chenab, Ravi and the Bees river. They refused to go further. Alexander began his return journey. So now Alexander began to move backward to his country. That was in the year 325 BC. A year or so later, he died at Babylon in modern Iraq. So, this is the journey of Alexander in India. Do you know the effects of Alexander's invasion in India? Alexander had appointed a few satraps. Satraps were called as the governors for the regions conquered by him. One of them had been murdered soon after Alexander's retreat from India. So one of the governor of Alexander, was soon murdered after the Alexander's return from India. In about 7 years' time, many traces of Greek authority had disappeared from India. So many Greek authorities have disappeared from India after the Alexander returned back to his country. But its indirect results were many. Okay, but the results were many, as the first result describes about that the routes of communication with the West, both by land and the sea, were open in a manner that had never happened before. Okay, so the sea route and the land routes between the India and the Europe were opened in that manner which were never opened before. So in this way, this encouraged the trade and led to an extensive trade between India and the Europe. So it led to the extensive trade between India and Europe. The writings of, now second point, the writings of Alexander's generals and companions become an important source of information about the Mauryans. So because Alexander has gone back to his country but his companions were still there, so they have written about the Mauryans. Because of their writings, we are getting the information about the Mauryans. Of these, the most important is the account of Megasthenes. And among all, Megasthenes' accounts were very important, who visited the court of Chandragupta and stayed for some time at Patliputra. Third point describes about many Greeks had settled in the northwest regions of India. As a result, Indian art and culture came to be increasingly influenced by the Greco-Roman culture. Okay, because the Greek culture come to India from the northwest region, in the northwest region of India. So as a result, the Indian art and culture and the Greek art and culture were mixed up, and that has brought a new art, Greco-Roman culture. The Greek techniques left its mark on the Gandhar school of art. Gandhar school of art, which was started during the time of Buddhism, okay, and it has left, okay, the Greco-Roman culture has left its impact on the Gandhar school of art. An important feature of the Gandhar sculptures was that the sculptures were made in a realistic manner. Okay, how they have made? They were made in the realistic manner. They looks like a real statues. The human body was depicted accurately with anatomical details, with all the body parts details. Fourth point describes about the Greek invasion made kingdom of the northwest weak. Greek invasion made the kingdoms, those who are in the northwest region, they become weak. This paved the way for the rise and growth of the Mauryan Empire. So this has helped the Mauryan Empire to start their kingdom in the northwest regions. So these were the effects of the Alexander's invasion. Do you know about the sources to reconstruct the age of the Mauryan Empire? So we have, you will learn about the literary source first. Okay, so there are many sources to reconstruct the age of the Mauryans. Literary sources. Among the literary sources, mentions may be made of the following works. So the first work is written in Indica. Okay, it is the first book, and it was written by Megasthenes. And the Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador to Patliputra. He lived at the modern capital for about 5 years. For how many years he lived at Patliputra? For 5 years. From his book, we get a lot of information about. So, what information we get from the Indica? Organization of the modern army, the administration of Patliputra, growth in the economy, especially agriculture, and the last point describes about the customs and religion of the people. Megasthenes' original Indica, however, was lost. Okay, the original Indica was lost, but many a few given by him are supported by the words of the Greek writers, such as the Satrap, Plutarch, and the Justin. Our next literary source is Arthashastra. The book Arthashastra is attributed to Kautilya or Chanakya. Okay, Kautilya or Chanakya, he is the prime minister, we can say. He is the prime minister of the Chandragupta Maurya's time. Then it contains about 6,000 verses divided into the 15 sections. It provides details for the art of administration, in that duties of the king, functions of ministers, and organization of the civil services. It also deals with the high level diplomacy and relations between the various states. Kautilya's ideal state should provide relief to the poor, the orphans, the old, and the infirm. In the event of a famine, state granaries should open their door to those who are starving. So, in this way, the Arthashastra describes about the duties, the work of the king, his administration policy, the civil services in the kingdom, the relationship between various states, and the high level of diplomacy. Kautilya also describes about that the kingdom or the king was giving relief to the poor, orphans, and old and infirm. And even at the time of famine, the granaries were opened for the people, those who don't have food. The king was helping to the poor people at the time of famine. Other works. The Vayu Purana and the Matsya Purana give list of rulers of different dynasties, Mauryas being one of them. Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshas is considered to be the best historical drama in the whole of the Sanskrit literature. Okay, so whose book was the best historical drama? The Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshas. It throws light on the position of the Nandas and the activities of Chandragupta Maurya. So, which two rulers or which two dynasties are in the Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshas? About the Nandas and about the Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya. It also gives us an idea of the social life of people in those days. Means how people live, what was their code of conduct, how they live their life. So it was also described in Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshas. So these are the sources about the Mauryan Empire in which you have learned about Indica, written by Megasthenes, Arthashastra, written by Kautilya, and other literary works in which you have learned Vayu Purana and Matsya Purana. The important book in that was Vishakha Datta's Mudra Rakshas, which gives information about the Nandas and the Chandragupta Maurya. So please listen the video carefully. Complete your assignment on the given date, and if you have any queries, please ask between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you. Have a great day.